Hey, you. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That's SuperDerek, man. Born with a beautiful voice and a beautiful mug. Some people are just born with all the luck. Well, let me tell you something. I wasn't born with this here mug. No, I had to order it from teespring.com. But hey, at least you can get yours with free shipping using promo code Elixir at the checkout. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to your JRPG weekly update. I am SuperDerek, and boy, have I got news for you. We've got some stuff to talk about, starting with the day's top headline. Nintendo responds to Pokemon fans. And what did they say? Well, for those who aren't keeping up, the new Pokemon is a little bit controversial, the one that's coming up for Nintendo Switch, Sword and Shield. It's a little bit controversial because it's not going to include all of the Pokemon that ever existed. They decided that there's just going to be a regional Pokedex, not a national one, which means you won't even be able to like trade in your old Pokemon or anything like that. So, needless to say, a bunch of people got very angry by this news, and they took to the internet to make their voices heard, and heard they were, so much to the point that Nintendo's or Game Freak's Junichi Masuda, responded with the following statement. Thank you to all of our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the news that some Pokemon cannot be transferred to Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I've read all of your comments and appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon. Just like you, we are passionate about Pokemon, and each and every one of them is very important to us. After so many years of developing the Pokemon video games, this was a very difficult decision for me. I'd like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, that does not mean it will not appear in future games. The world of Pokemon continues to evolve. The Galar region offers new Pokemon to encounter, trainers to battle, and adventures to embark on. We are pouring our hearts into these games, and we hope that you will look forward to joining us in this new journey. So, in other words, he said, we understand your concerns, however, deal with it. Now, I don't really have a horse in this race, but I do know that this is not the first time that Pokemon have been omitted from new Pokemon titles. However, I think that this is probably the first time this many Pokemon have been omitted from this title, or are likely to be omitted from this title. I don't think we have an official list or anything yet, though I think it can be inferred that a lot of them are not making the trip over, especially with Mega Evolutions not bringing, being able to move over as well, or the island special Pokemon. I can't remember what they're called. The Alola. I don't know. Anyways, so that said, I do like Pokemon, but I am more of a JRPG fan than a Pokemon fan. So with the perspective of a JRPG fan, this would force me to break out of a lot of ruts, a lot of habits that I had fallen into, because I don't know about the majority of you guys, but I have like a set of like 6 of my favorite Pokemon, and my goal in every Pokemon title is to go grab those specific Pokemon and put them in my party, and then I can actually just play the game the way I wanted to. So by not necessarily allowing this to happen, I think that Pokemon is intending to kind of help people break out of that rut and learn to explore other Pokemon and learn to love to use other Pokemon. So that's my, my fast take on this one, my hot take. I don't know what you would call that, but, I know that there's going to be a lot of people here who are really not going to be happy with that official response, though I can't really say that I'm surprised by that response from Nintendo. In all honesty, Nintendo tends to be a lot like Apple, the tech company Apple, in this very specific way, at least, wherein I feel like Nintendo tries to deliver to fans what Nintendo thinks that fans want, and not necessarily what fans tell them what they want. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Are you heavily invested into this Pokemon thing? I know a lot of people are. I know a lot of people, especially people watching this video, probably aren't super into Pokemon. We've got a lot of other stuff to talk about, including some new games that were announced recently. Ninokuni 3. Well, maybe. Ninokuni is getting a third title. Akihiro Hino, a guy that works at level 5, he's like the president of that company. He said in an interview that they have a third title in development, and I kind of assume that that's probably going to be Ninokuni 3. Says that they're planning to release it sometime after the Ninokuni movie gets released. I guess I didn't realize that there was going to be a Ninokuni movie, but there is, and it's going to be released in Japan on August 29th. So sometime after that, we're going to get Ninokuni 3 in Japan, which is awesome. And it sounds like they're really working on making Ninokuni more of a bigger franchise, kind of like, I guess, what they've done with Yokai Watch. I just really wish that Akihiro Hino would get back to writing a story for Dark Cloud 3. Because that's a series that I feel they have neglected to provide some love to. And I would really like them to focus on making that one a bigger franchise. But hey, what are you going to do? There is a new Urawareru Mono title that got announced. I hope I pronounced that okay. Urawareru Mono. Yes. This title is going to be set in a Japanese-style world and will feature half-human creatures like demi-humans and stuff like that. That's about all I know. There's a little bit of a trailer there. The name of the game, the platforms, and expected release dates, though, are all completely unknown at this point and not yet announced. There is news, however, on the brand new Atelier Ryza game that was just revealed a couple of weeks ago, right? You remember that trailer? It was just that little teaser and it showed the person like walking away from the camera. That just got announced very recently, right? Well, anyways, Atelier Ryza is coming to the West, and that doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is the fact that it's going to be released in the West on October 29th this year in the United States. For everybody else in Europe, you're going to have to wait another couple days because it's going to be November 1st for you guys. But didn't they just release a game? Like, am I misremembering something here? I feel like I don't remember the exact title. I know that they had a very recent couple of games that just were released. I know that the Ireland, yeah, there was a fourth entry in the Ireland series or something like that. It's hard to keep up. I feel like that's going to be a monstrous series to eventually cover when I do eventually get to it. It looks like they're a lot of fun, but it also looks like they're kind of expensive and also have a lot of DLC wrapped up into them. It's tempting because the worlds look kind of nice. They're very pretty from what I've seen, but man, there's so many. It's like they're like Tales games. Anyway, we also got some other localization and release date updates, starting with well, this is sort of kind of like an in-between. Dragon Quest Builders 2 has a demo that is currently available for you to download for free right now on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. Digital demos are awesome. Go download it and find out if this game is going to be for you. That's one of the best things I think about demos, is being able to try it before you buy it, right? And then also the Alliance Alive HD Remaster also got a release date for here in the States. For us here in the States, we can play it on October 8th. For people in Europe, though, you're going to have to wait until October 11th. I wonder why that is, that Europe always has to like have this 3-day waiting period before the rest of you guys get to play the games. I have no idea why that would possibly be the case. And then also, Disgaea 4 Complete is also going to be released here in the West. I believe this one's worldwide. It's going to be released on October 29th of this year as well. So, yeah, October 29th, same day as the new Atelier Ryza title. Wow, October and November this year are going to be really competitive with RPGs, and especially also if you take into consideration the Western RPGs that are slated for around that time. It's going to be a very busy time of the year. Anyway, we have a few other headlines that weren't really like front page headlines, so I figured I'd shove them back this way to the back page of our newspaper that it doesn't exist. But Square Enix is hiring. Their Dragon Quest team is hiring for some artists for a next generation Dragon Quest title. Next generation Dragon Quest implies to me PlayStation 5. So I wouldn't expect to see this come out until well after the PlayStation 5 is released and established. And speaking of new Dragon Quest games, where the heck is that Dragon Quest Monsters game that was supposed to feature Eric and his sister from Dragon Quest XI that's supposed to be coming to consoles? I remember that was announced a while ago, and then we just never heard anything else about it. And that's disappointing. I really want to play this. I just haven't heard any news. It just fell off the face of the planet. Well, hopefully we'll hear about it before too long. Knock on wood. Also coming from Square Enix is a live-action Final Fantasy TV series. It is currently in the works. It's going to be based on the world, or featured within the world, of Final Fantasy XIV, which is good because I feel like Square Enix does their best film work with established worlds, and when they go off and try to make other things completely unrelated to Final Fantasy and slap the title of Final Fantasy on them, doesn't tend to work out very well. But anyways, live action. So we're probably going to see what chocobos look like IRL, I guess. And I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say about this except that based on the live action adaptations that I've seen come from Japan for things like anime and manga, my expectations for this game, or for this TV series, are through the floor. I have no expectations here. I actually have bad expectations for this TV series. Likely not gonna watch it unless I watch it to see how bad it is. But you know what? If this turns out to be really good, then more power to them. Because, hey, you know, there's really, I feel like a big hole in TV shows for like fantasy, magic. I mean, I know Game of Thrones sort of filled that void for a little while, but anime does a really good job of filling in this hole that I'm talking about, that I'm failing to accurately describe. I think that The Magicians was a TV show that's, I guess it's still ongoing, that I also really like watching. I guess Legend of the Seeker? There's very few like medieval fantasy TV shows that just are like upbeat and feel good. I don't know. Anyways, again, way off topic. But if you have recommendations, let me know down below. And then in SuperDerek news, the Fallout New Vegas review is done. I've rendered it, and currently patrons have access to it, and so far they have said that they like it, which is good. This is going to be a full review of Fallout New Vegas, and it's also going to talk about the history of Black Isle Studios and Obsidian Entertainment. I'm really excited for it. It's about like a 16-minute review, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be coming out this Wednesday. Also, In SuperDerek news, I do have mugs for sale. I really do enjoy this mug. I I I tried to design it to look kind of classy, kind of, I don't know, old timey. I, yeah, I designed it myself. And long story short, free shipping is this weekend only, but you can get it with the promo code Elixir. Yeah, this is the Dr. Phoenix Downs Elixir of Mana Extract, restores and revitalizes. Yeah. Unlock the secret of mana with your mug. And also the free shipping code works with everything else, the t-shirts and stuff, if you're interested.
Hey, what's up, Derek? Love the show. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just wanted to call in and ask about the Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. I know you weren't really into the game when it first came out. I think there was a live stream where you talked about that very briefly, touching on it. But I was just wondering if you were going to give it another shot with the whole remastered version. Keep up the good work, man. Love the show.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VIII was one of those games that I played a long while ago when I first got a PlayStation. I played through a bit of Final Fantasy 7 and 9 I really loved. I played through a little bit of 8. That was one that I got a while later, and I ended up actually getting really lost in it. This was when I was still very new to RPGs. I remember I think, walking off the beaten path, and then I ran into some sort of cave or something, and I got attacked by this dragon that just wiped out my entire party, and I was lost, and I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, I ended up stopping my playthrough very early on in Final Fantasy VIII. The question, though, was, do I plan to take another crack at it now that the remaster is coming out? And the answer to that is, yeah, maybe. I don't have any plans immediately to play it. I don't have it scheduled in to try it out at any point. But when I do eventually play through it, and I will, the remaster version seems like the way that I'm going to be going with it. It appears like it's going to include a lot of quality of life improvements from the other Final Fantasy games, like being able to fast forward or changing enemy encounter rates, which will probably be really helpful just for speeding through it really quickly and knocking it out. Though I'm not sure if I'm going to actually utilize any of those quality of life improvements, simply because it wouldn't necessarily be reflective of the initial release of the game, which is probably what I'd be trying to review, right? But anyway, yeah, that's sort of my current mindset on that. It's a hard maybe. We also have some new RPGs coming out this week to talk about. As Divine Dios is an upcoming JRPG that it's actually already released on iOS, I believe, but it's coming now to PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Vita, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Also, we've got Clannad, which is a visual novel, and I only care about it because the anime was great. It is already on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation PC, but it is also coming to Nintendo Switch this week. For fans of Final Fantasy XIV, we have Shadowbringers, which is a DLC DLC expansion. It's a new expansion for Final Fantasy XIV that is coming to PlayStation 4 and PC this week. And then Illusion of Lefalcia? Probably something like that. It's also already on iOS, but it's coming to Xbox One this week. So, Xbox One people, you got something. And I don't believe that this is on PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch. It is iOS and Xbox One exclusive there. And lastly, we've got a question of the week. And now that summer is upon us, it's really hot outside. There are heat advisories telling you to stay indoors where you have air conditioning, and hopefully you do have air conditioning. And it's around this time that, I really miss having summer vacations from school and stuff. And I used to play a lot of RPGs during the summer months because I had nothing else to do. You know, because I honestly, when I was growing up, I couldn't really leave the house when my parents were gone. It was one of those things of like, you have to be home because you got to be safe and stuff. Anyways, the RPG that I played the most and have the most memories of that time are definitely of like Secret of Mana and also to an extent Earthbound. Secret of Mana though is the one that really I remember spending the most time with, just like exploring around and all the beautiful the flora within that game just remind me so much of summertime and being outdoors. And anyways, what games do you remember fondly playing through on your summer vacations? And what RPG brings back the most summer memories to you? That's what I'd like to know. Anyways, guys, tell me down in the comments down below. Until then, I am SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me.